Recording in progress.
Welcome to EIPIP Meeting 79. I have just shared agenda in chat. So we have few open pull requests, one or two issues to be discussed, and there are a few suggestions left in comment. So I have tried to add them all here for discussion today. Thank you everyone for joining. So the first pull request that is here is update EIP1 strengthening wording of status update. It is PR 6894. Looks like it is already approved by editors. Okay, I think there are some more comments left. Gajendra Singh, I think you are the last person to add some comments on that. Would you like to maybe talk about the changes that you are recommending here, or is it just fine?
Yeah. So, I mean, those are minor comments, but just changing the wording. And one of the things I'm suggesting is that so we use word rebased instead of updated whenever to basically reflect the status of an EIP to the different PRs that are still pending, so that the commit on PR history, the commits still look good.
All right, makes sense. Maybe we will wait for the author to address that comment and then we can bring it back if needed, or otherwise I hope it will be merged before the next call. Moving on, the next one is number is 6840. It's about stale last call deadline. So a user has shared a list of proposals which have passed their deadline, and the question is, what should we do about it? I see a comment from Sam Wilson suggesting that it should be there, and anyone can maybe create a new pull request to move it to the final status. But there is another proposal here. Perhaps a bot should move them back into review after 6 months. I'm wondering what other editors think about moving or changing their status back to review if not addressed for 6 months in last call.
Seems fine to me.
Okay, so I'm taking that the bot can move it back to review, but the question is, like, bot already moves it to stale, right?
I'm not sure how it acts on last call leaps.
Right. Okay, my understanding is, I may be wrong, but as per my understanding, the present bot treat all of the EIP proposal or any of the pull request in the in the repository, in the pull request form, move it to stagnant, and sometimes the status is changed to stagnant. So if someone wants to bring it back, it has to bring it back from stagnant to whatever the last call to whatever the last status it was. So here the suggestion would be, instead of moving it to stagnant status, it will be moved back to the review status. Are we okay with it, or we still want to move it to stagnant irrespective of the present status of the EIP?
Maybe after another 3-4 months we can move it to stagnant if nothing happens in review.
Right. That sounds good to me. Maybe we can look forward for a pull request for a specific change that is being suggested here, and we can take it from there. We are just joined by Sam as well, so if I can quickly catch his thought as well before writing summary for this meeting. Sam, we were discussing issue number 6840. where Panda Peep has suggested to move proposals from last call to review after 6 months past the deadline.
I don't really have a problem with it. I'm rather neutral about it.
Yeah, that seems like a general understanding here. So as a summary, I'm gonna mention that we can hope for a pull request to have this change updated by bot. Very well. Moving on to the next one is a dependency bot. I think Matt mentioned this as a comment. I'm assuming that he may want to look for some change. Matt, if you would like to give us an overview and what changes are expected here.
I just want a quieter bot. Like this thing is creating so many PRs, and it's just not really that important to be updating all these dependencies every time the author decides to push something to master. So I don't know what our bot situation was before. I don't know what the landscape of bots look like, but I think that this Mind Renovate bot is too much.
I don't see Panda on the call. Wonder anyone else has any information about this bot?
We could probably open a PR to make it do it less frequently. I don't think that would be an issue.
Or even if it batched the changes once a month or once every 2 weeks, that would be fine as well. It's just every time the author decides they want to push to master, we get another PR.
Okay. So looks like, sorry, I was muted. Okay, it looks like the recommendation here is to update the depend bot to kind of do the batch or only for status change, not for any other PR. Is that the correct understanding, Matt?
Oh, this is for the like dependencies, not for EIPs. So it's like it'll make a PR to update it when somebody changes Jekyll, for example.
Oh, got it.
I'll make an issue to get Panda to configure it so that it does it once a week. It looks like we can do
Thanks.
that.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Moving on to the next one is allow BIP as external resources. I don't see Victor on the call. This was proposed by him. So probably we can take it later today. I hope he joins. I have added a few pull requests here. Those are to update proposals of Shanghai upgrade proposal to move to the final status. I'm assuming at present they are waiting for authors to approve, but considering these proposals are already deployed and they are final, I wonder if editors can force merge them or we have to wait for authors to approve it. Alright, I'll ping authors on Discord and we'll wait for them for another week or so. If not, then we can reach out to editors, see if we can force merge them. Next one is pull request number 6556. So I believe this pull request is for EIP 5507 that was merged yesterday during the EIP editing office hour. However, I do not see the status change on the eips.ethereum.org. I wonder if that is a bug. Yesterday there were two proposals which were merged, but I see this issue with only one.
What was the issue again, or the EIP?
EIP number is 5507. That was moved to last call, but that is not showing as is on eips.ethereum.org. It still shows in review status.
I'll look into it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all on discussion for like new topics. Moving on to number 2, that is discussion continued from earlier meetings. Greg requested for yellow paper discussion. Greg, you mentioned in the chat with some issue related to microphone. Is it okay? I mean, are you able to hear us now?
Victor's not on the call, so I think it won't be as useful to discuss it without him. He's been reaching out to people who've been contributing and just trying to see who's still interested in it. And I'll probably bring it up at the next ACD meeting. Just find out if there's any interest in it and try and push it some myself, because I just think it would be a huge loss to the community to have a specification.
All right, we can obviously bring it back in the next meeting when Victor is around. Having said that, that's gonna make our meeting the shortest one for today. Moving on to the item number 3.
Yeah, I don't mind discussing it now. I just think it'll be more useful if Victor's here.
Totally up to you. If you would like to share anything about it, it's fine, I suppose.
Let's wait for Victor.
Okay,
I agree with Greg. I think Victor should be here.
not a problem. So we will bring it back in the next meeting if he does not join before we end up the call. So the next item is EIPW bot issues. I suppose there were some testing pending. Jose on the call, if you would like to provide any updates on that.
Hello. Yeah, well, Sang is here either. So I think that we are already done with the testing. I believe that we are almost there. Sam, maybe you can contribute or correct me. Thank you.
This is for the issue number 5.
Precisely.
Yeah. I mean, this is your PR. You know where we are on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Victor's here.
Yeah, thank you, Victor, for joining. We were waiting for you for 2 items that you have added here for discussion today. One is allow BIPs as external sources and yellow paper. I think we are done with major sections. Only EIPS and site is left there on agenda. So if you would like to maybe talk about the BIP as external resources, that was on the first item.
Yeah. So I'd like to propose the BIP as external source as allowed external source. I believe that when we talk about the link permission as Sam was drafting 5757, there was a specific term saying that external source that needs to be stable for 10 years. I think that term was proposed. We were using BIP as one of the example for external. So I was under impression that BIP was allowed. It turns out that the last EIP editing office hour, some author was proposing to refer to BIP, I believe it's BIP 39, and it was not allowed. I think it's reasonable that a lot of things in EIP was referring to some BIP. As early as EIP 1, we have referring to BIP 1. And also there is hierarchical deterministic wallet that was referring to BIP 32. So generally, I think it's not harmful to refer to BIP. It's stable enough, and then it's a legitimate source. So I like to propose it to be allowed as an external source.
I have no objections. I think it's reasonable. It's in a Git repository, right?
It is.
Yeah, so go for it. Make a PR for it, I think, and unless somebody else objects.
I don't object.
Awesome. That was pretty quick. So I think we should be just expecting a pull request to make that change in EIP1. The next item we were waiting was the discussion of yellow paper. Discussion continued from earlier meeting. Yeah, if you would like to share like new updates on that.
Yeah, I know you were reaching out, Victor.
Victor, you may be muted if you're talking.
Oh. So thanks to Team Bako and Greg, who pointed out the last known maintainers of yellow paper. And the people, Andrew responded. Nick Saber has not responded. Andrew says that he, to his best knowledge, doesn't know anyone else other than him has continued to maintain yellow paper after him. He himself loved to help, but he's having personal life commitments, so that he will be happy if someone is interested in continue to maintain it. He will be happy to help review, help get those people up to speed. And then I'm still waiting for Nick Saver to respond. But my understanding is that one, EIP yellow paper is not being actively maintained, which is like obvious. And the second is that people who from Team Baker and from a handful of other core developers, they're interested in help out reviewing. So this is the updates. And now there's the subjective part of my personal feeling. I think I'm with Greg that having a mathematical way of representation out there as like yellow paper helps bridge the gap between the Ethereum specific execution spec, which is the developer side, as with the researchers within the Ethereum ecosystem and also in the academia. So there's high value there. And I do understand there's a controversy for allowing linking to yellow paper at this current state. But I think it would be beneficial. I'm proposing to allow it to be linked today. But I think it would be good for us to look into how can we facilitating resuming of editing for yellow paper. That's my subjective feeling. And my proposed next step is to connect with the all core devs and the and the consensus sync meeting to gauge the interest for people who are currently developing in this space, for the core developers, whether they're interested, any volunteers who love to come over and either review or directly add it to the L paper, and then we can start reviving it. We might need to get some help from the Ethereum Foundation to set up our Git repository permissions to start that conversation. I wonder, in that case, who is the best person to talk to? Should it be Hoja, or who do we know is the best to kind of set up Git repository permissions to yellow paper?
Who do you want to give permissions to? I mean, just talk to me, I guess. I can figure it out.
Oh, yeah. I think I can, then we can continue the conversation. Basically, we want to have a few people who are interested in helping out start to propose permissions, propose pull request, and then people who are committed to review them have the permission to review them. Ideally, a bot can help in that case, so we can make it even more easier to add and remove people who have the review permission. Or if the bot is not available yet, you can we can set them to be to just use GitHub roles in the first place. So yeah, should it be you, Sam?
Yeah, we can talk offline. I can connect you with the right people.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's my the updates, and then also I share my subjective feeling. Any feedback, comments?
But I think clearly if we have the yellow paper going, whoever's taking responsibility for that needs to coordinate with the executable, the reference implementation, and the EIPs. I would see the yellow paper as being at the very end of that process. I don't think that's a problem, and I don't think referring to it now is a problem. There has to be some care taken. Most of it doesn't change in any given upgrade. Most of it remains valid, and referring to it is the only way to actually express certain concepts as normative. Pointing at Python code down in executable. It's really a difficult way to express a state transition, a world state. So
Yeah.
that would just be my ask, that we can allow linking to it now rather than wait out an uncertain process.
I'll be in support for that. I do know that Sam and Matt have strong concern about linking to it, which is we tried to discuss last time, and we believe that we are not bringing back this topic back up until certain time passed or things to significantly change, because even though Greg, you and I really believe that yellow paper should be linkable, I don't think we have make a strong enough case to convince them yet.
So I've got a couple proposals which are in withdrawn status, but heavily depend on the yellow paper. They're incomprehensible without it. Even though they're withdrawn, I want to do a little bit more work on them so that they're left in a correct and consistent state, simply as the published documentation of those concepts. And is the bot going to let me work on those, or is it going to refuse to let me merge them back?
Are they withdrawn or stagnant?
They're currently withdrawn.
Yeah, so
but,
then they're in the same place as final, so you won't be able to edit them, regardless of whether there's yellow paper or not. But to be clear on this particular point, I think we should actually allow links to the yellow paper. I don't know if I've said that in a while. I think the yellow paper meets the criteria set out in 5757.
Oh, so I basically I should have left them stagnant.
Yeah, withdrawn has the same immutability like guarantees as final, as far as I'm aware.
Oh shit. Yeah, because I wanted them withdrawn to make clear that they were not being proposed, given that EOF is there. But I wanted to I wanted to put the correct validation algorithm in, so that as a record of the final concepts, it would be correct. Okay.
I mean, I'd still open the PR and then we can talk about it. I don't
Right,
think, yeah.
right. It'll be some time before I have time, but essentially at the very end, I translated the validation algorithm from Go to Python. I broke it.
Sam, did I understand you correctly that in one particular case you are allowing yellow paper to be linked? What is that particular
No,
case?
not one particular case. Like, I think the yellow paper is a valid origin of like to link to according to the rules in 5757. So it should be allowed.
Okay. I'm going to make a proposal to add BIP, and I'm waiting for see if Matt has changed the position or softened his stance.
Position.
Okay,
so
then
there is a PR to allow the yellow paper already open.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, is Matt the only one who's currently opposing it, or do we know other people's stance?
Maybe we can add comments on the pull request, which is already existing there, right? So we can collect signal on that. If all editors approve it, or like most of the editors approve it, should go in, right?
It will, but I think we want to reach like consensus before we make any changes like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it sounds like we have some way forward with respect to yellow paper as well as with respect to BIP external link. I mean BIP being added as a link in EIPs. Any other thing that you would like to mention or discuss today, Victor?
That's all the topic I brought up, I think. I don't have other topics, I believe.
Very well. Anyone else would like to say anything before we move on to the next item? Okay, cool. I'm gonna add summary after this call in the agenda itself. And I'm taking that Victor may be looking into creating new pull requests to add or update EIP1 for external source. Next one is EIPS Insight, monthly EIPS status reporting. So far we have 7 final EIPs in this month. There are 7 proposals in last call, including those 4 on the core side, which we are hoping to get merged soon. And 3 other proposals which are in last call are gonna meet a deadline soon enough. Proposals are ERC 6220, which is 18th of April. It was yesterday, so author can create new pull request to move it to the final status if there are no significant feedback from community or from editor on either on FAM or on the GitHub pull request itself. The next is ERC 6105, no intermediary NFT trading protocol. The deadline was April 4th, so author can anytime change it to the final status. Another ERC is 6381. Deadline is May 2nd. Anyone having thoughts on this proposal getting into final? This is public non-fungible token emote repository. Please share your thoughts, feedback as soon as possible before the deadline period is over so author can take a look. And the last on the list is ERC 5507 refundable token. Though this proposal is not showing the last con deadline on eips.ethereum.org as of now, but the deadline is May 2nd. So if you are interested in this proposal and you have feedback, comments, thoughts to be shared with authors, this is the time before it moves into final, because we are discouraging people to make any changes after the proposal gets into final. So please take a look. And you can find this on HackMD added here in the link, as well as the website added here. Next one is EIP editing office hour. I have added the recording for last meeting that happened yesterday, meeting 15. And agenda for meeting 16 is already up. If you have any pull request in the GitHub repository and you are not sure why it is not being merged, please reach out to us on or please add a comment to the agenda and we'll discuss it. You are also welcome to discuss the same before the meeting on Cat Herders Discord. Please share your questions, comments, so that can be addressed as soon as possible. But if in any case it is not addressed for till the meeting is there, please join the meeting and editor Samuelson will help you out with the problem. Hopefully that will be resolved and your proposal will be merged. That's all from the agenda. I'm quickly taking a look at the summary from the last meeting. Looks like we have already addressed all the issues from the last meeting. Yeah, we do have some time if anyone has anything to bring up, discuss. Cool. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope to see you in 2 weeks. The meeting will be at 1400 UTC. Have a great one, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.